Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we've got 3 card pile images in front of you. You're gonna go with the one that you feel most gravitated towards. I will give you 10 seconds to choose, but please also feel free to pause the video. Okay, so if you were gravitated towards group 1, before we begin, if you are unaware, I do private readings. A lot of people were shocked by that. They did not know. Etsy shop link will be in the description box. Go over there and look, be nosy. There's a lot of things. I even have a second channel that you can check out for free where I speak about ascension. Extended reading will also be offered through the Patreon platform. It's going to be a fun archetype reading with major arcana cards. So if you'd like to catch it again, just go down below into the pinned comments. So let's begin. I am going to be drawing my cards as always on camera. Please feel free to tap forward, but I will also speed up the recording. Okay, so section 1, we'll be looking at the face you show the world. So basically your outer mask, how others see you, your public persona, and then basically also the energy you project without trying, okay? This card pile will also reveal the version of yourself that is most visible. Okay, so if I'm looking at you or I'm experiencing you, it's kind of interesting. There's almost 2 sides, I feel like, that I can feel when it comes to you. It's like I'm really hearing like putting on the happy face, putting on the brave face. I do feel like people tend to notice that there's this aura or this energy that you try to put on, even if you look honestly at times exhausted. I feel like the face that you wear outwardly is like, everything's okay. Everything's okay. I got it. I'm good. But really it just tells a different story. I just feel like if I'm looking at you, and I don't feel like the people who are viewing you need to be that aware to sense it. There's this like silent sensing that something's off or not right, but you are again projecting that everything is okay. You also project that there is this hardworking type of aura. I'm hardworking, and I'm not saying that it's really in regards to career. It's more just like when you don't have a choice, that survivor energy, that warrior energy of just getting up and getting it done, or like, I don't have time to be down on myself. I just don't have that type of time. I can't afford it type thing. And I'm not speaking, when I say afford it, financially. It's like brave. Yeah, this is a very brave face that you show the world. The face that you show, the outer mask, is like strong, brave, everything's good, everything's okay. But there's also with this card, the spiritual seeker, and then this card with the 8 of Cups, there's this other thing that people can sense that's brewing. And sometimes it's like, uh-oh, what is going on? Like what is that person not saying? People can feel it, that something's heavy. You emit something heavy. Even if you are trying to, again, cover it up with like, everything's good, everything's okay. People, you're not doing the best job with that. I'm going to be honest. And it's not even like I'm saying do better, but I'm just saying people can sense it. Like, there's something you're not saying. Something may be wrong, but it's really beautiful in a sense, because it's like, this is the type of person, and I'm speaking about you, that like really doesn't want to like trauma dump upon others, or just, bring others down with, their heartache or their issues, or really doesn't want to do that to other people. So you kind of hold it within. People can sense that you're probably somebody who, keeps it all bottled up. But this could also be like private. You're a very private person. But wow, what an interesting energy here. And it's kind of, I'm gonna just give you a little extras here. I do feel like there are people who want to help, but it's like, they don't want to overstep, so it's like, I guess you have to be the first one to initiate, asking for help. But I do sense that there are people around you a lot of times that really do want to, help you with this, but they also get the sense that they cannot intervene or interject unless you ask. The face that you show the world also is deep. It's very philosophical. Like, you give this vibe of like, so funny. I don't know why they're showing me Sagittarius, and I'm not saying you're a Sagittarius, but if you've ever been around Sagittarius, they're like pretty deep. Like, and I don't care what position it's in. I've seen this in the moon. I've seen this in the rising sign and the sun sign. But, they always give this like, like, give me more. Like, I'm going to think you're cool if you can give me more. There's this face you project where it's like, people get this idea that like, if they're going to be able to get in with you, you got to kind of offer something different. They do think that there's this depth to you. You may not outwardly, openly project it, but it's like they can sense it. You like to know more. You like to know the deeper meaning. And maybe you say things here and there, that would, make them think that. But you do kind of give off like this spiritual seeker, vibe, like wanting to know more, wanting to know the truth. And it could be through your hobbies, but it also could be through things you're saying. So like, even if it's just randomly, like you're into like healthy food, or, you make a comment about, what are they not saying, like what, like wanting more, like deeper. There's this deeper, and maybe even spiritually, people can also sense this about you, that the face that you project to the world is, a person who's into the unknown, the occult, or, again, could be crystals, could be through stuff that you're wearing. But it also could very much be, through your interests. Now, kind of interesting with this vendor card, because I feel like with this one, for some of you, you're very like independent, but you may also represent, entrepreneurship. Maybe you are an entrepreneur, maybe you work for yourself, but this is also a very successful energy. You knock things out of the park. You're real quick. If anybody could actually have a business, it would be you. They would think that it would be you. But it could also be that, you literally are an entrepreneur. So, that would be a part of the face that you project or show to the world. You're your own brand. Okay. But yeah, it's a lot of what I said at first, a lot of that. That's the strongest energy that's coming forth here. You project like everything's okay, when really it could be like bubbling, like pot ready to boil inside. But you're more like, let's just put on the face, let's just put on the brave face. I don't want it to get awkward. I don't sense with you that you're even that type that would want to even get into it with others. You don't want to dampen the mood with your issues. And I don't really know what that's called. I don't know if that's like, I think there's a name for that, when people are not like that, but I just can't think of it right now. So that's kind of what you're projecting. Okay. Section 2, the face that you hide within. So your inner world, what you protect, suppress, or keep sacred. These stack of cards are going to uncover the emotional or energetic layer people rarely get access to. It's kind of interesting. I just heard underdog, the underdog. Your struggles, guys, like this is really beautifully flowing from the first section. I think if people actually knew what you were dealing with, they would have to really know you. And I think you'd have to trust them too. But I am going to say here with the sun, okay, showing up in the face you hide within, I'm going to say it. I don't think people get access to the true you. This group, it's going to be very, very, the pool is very small. And again, it has to be, people you trust, because I see here with the Seven of Swords, this is a protection mechanism. And I'm not sure why you're doing it. It's not even about that with this reading, okay? Maybe it's that you don't want things held against you, okay? But you are definitely playing two different roles. I mean, wow, insincere card with two different faces. And maybe with this card, with the you will win in the end, maybe this is really about protection. You do this because it's one of those things where it's like, don't ever tell people more than they need to know. It's almost like the game of life, what we're playing here in this section. And I can understand that. I can really understand that, because it could even be like, who are they? Who are they to know like what is, really nearest and dearest to my heart, or who I really am. That takes time, that takes effort. But it's definitely also about the fact that, we just don't want any kind of manipulation. So I'm getting a little bit as to kind of like why you may be doing this. But with this, the face you hide within is your real self, like your real, true self. And because I see the 10 of Wands here, it really is all the things that you're struggling with. This is a very private person. They could be dealing with so much and you just wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know. Nor would they like put it on you. Now, this is interesting. Okay. You may have a bit of like a talent here, or, there's this performance spirit. Maybe there's something you have a talent with, or something that you know how to do. This could even be this could be so many things, guys. I mean, it has the word emotion on it. I feel like when you sing, it's a piece of your heart, right? That's coming out like in an artistic way. There's something deeper than just being able to sing, and I feel like this is really about the performance itself. Like, the face that you hide within is the fact that you are performing. People may not be aware of that aspect of you, that you know how to like put on a performance. And it's crazy too, because the harmony word is there too. Like, that's really important to you guys. Harmony. You don't like distasteful things. You don't want to talk about distasteful things. You'd rather keep it light and happy. But, literally, if it's not the talent that people are not aware of, that you have like this interesting, and I don't care what it is, then it really is about the performance that you put on. People don't know that you don't really show your true self to them. They're getting like a fictitious version of you. Now, this is interesting as well too. So with this doctor card, we've got compassion, we've got diagnosis, surgery, treatment, healer of ailments. You may hide that you're going through something, okay, health-wise. There may be something that you keep really dear and near to your heart, that people don't know that you struggle with, or you struggled with in the past. This could also be that you are a healer as well too. You've got healer traits, or you can do something that people, are not really aware of. And it may be very taboo, to be honest. And that's why it has to be hidden. I mean, why would you hide this? I think there's a reason for that. But this could also be that you, oh, that's interesting. This could be a part of health. Like when you do have health issues, they're just, people never know about them. And that could include family. You tend to be private about that stuff, but you could actually be hiding a doctor. And I don't know why I'm saying that, but I like to get very specific in my readings. I don't really care too much about being general. If it doesn't resonate, it's fine. Move forward. Or take what does and just leave the rest. You may actually be hiding a doctor, someone you know. That could just be for one person, or it could be the fact that you are in school for this. Now, why you would hide that, I don't know. But I have to say it. But I think this is very much tied to like what you're dealing with. You're very private about even that too. But this could be a health conscious person too. Maybe what your thoughts are on health, rock the boat. Maybe you have to keep it private, I wouldn't be surprised, guys, in this day and age. There's a lot that we have to kind of, for some reason, hush hush about, because, people can just attack. So it could be even your thoughts, your thoughts about health, your thoughts about like how to heal and what's the best way to go about it, it could be a part of that face that you hide. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so last section will speak to the face that you are becoming. So your evolving self, the version of you that is emerging, growing, or awakening. This set of cards shows your future face, your transformation, and basically like your next expression. So I actually think with this section, I've got people here who are actively aware of this. They're really aware of like what I'm talking about, and they're working on it. They're working on it. They're trying to, with the Hermit, and the King of Wands, step forward in their most authentic self with not really caring about who it's going to, affect. You're on a journey with this group, and it has a lot to do with your personality as well. And you are, I feel like, she always reminds me of the Eight of Swords. Like, I think this group is kind of getting tired of this facade or holding up this type of, so you may actually be limiting your circle, or really stepping away, self-evaluating or self-isolating, and really with the Six of Cups, only trying to interact or do your best to interact with people who you feel a kindredness with, like a people who you have like a like-mindedness with, or people who really would appreciate you. I think you're going to be working on this with the deep-seated discrimination. A lot of you, it's kind of interesting that her mouth is covered too, because I think with this group, there was a point in time where you tried to be your authentic self, and there may have been a lot of trauma with that was resulted in doing that, like from others. Maybe there was discrimination. Maybe you learned how to, tie your hands and just shut your mouth, but it's like there's something else evolving here. And you understand that it's just not working. It's just not going to, again, I'm getting tired. I feel like I'm tired of the facade. So I'm going to move more into groups or friendships or, relationships where, I'm not going to be trying as hard. I'm going to just be waiting for the right thing to show up with the Six of Cups and, with what feels right. And when it comes to anything else, I'm just going to, be reserved about it with the Hermit. But this group could also be really working on this with the Hermit. I really do always, when I see the Hermit, I just see healing, and I see a man on his journey. And I think here, this group would be like, yeah, I'm really trying to figure this out because I'm getting tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be my truest authentic self with the Hermit. I want to show my true self again. This is not working for me. And actually, it's interesting with the childish behavior because it's a 9 card and, it really is about healing. But I think there's also this, when I say childish behavior, you're feeling like it's becoming that. And that's not something you want to operate anymore in, like you just don't want to play games, you don't want to do this anymore. So you're kind of like on this, you're on the go. You've got the repairman. So you are repairing, you're restoring, and you're restarting, and you're renovating. You are doing that when it comes to your personality, your face, the face you show. It's an overhaul. But with the courier, this is interesting too. Messenger of connections, delivery, information transmission, and gift. I think you're in the process of this, but I also think here, you're getting a lot of information about it as well too. There's an information transmission. You've been understanding that this is something, and I think it's in the way of downloads from the higher self. Like you are picking up what is being thrown down, that this is not working anymore and you want to do something about it. So the face that you're becoming is, I think, more authentically you, like flaws and all. I'm not seeing that you're going to start talking to people about your problems. I see more a shift in aligning yourself with connections that, make sense, make more sense. And with the King of Wands, he takes action, to, really engage in this. And, he is a type of king that, will discard of what no longer is serving. So I do see an overhaul with the types of people that you are interacting with and giving life to or allowing to come in. You're getting more strict about this, okay? You are working on, this, which is really an inner wound, or it could be trauma. I get it. I think a lot of you, there may have been something really wild that happened through you being your authentic self. And somewhere down the line, you said, oh, I'm never doing that again. But now you're starting to realize that it was like literally you that drank the poison. So this is not working. Doing it this way is not working. So I'm going to remove the chains. I'm going to remove the tape. And I'm going to, again, be myself. Go back to who I was originally. But align more with soul connections that make sense. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot with, this already being in the process with this group. And I don't know that you're not necessarily becoming somebody else. I think you're just going back to who you originally were. But you are taking some sort of action with the King of Wands on being a lot more selective with who you're going to be around or who you're going to be entertaining, okay, within your main sphere. So that's great. And, you will do this. You will do this. I see this already in the process. So good for you. All right. Take care, group 1. Okay, so if you were gravitated towards group 2, before we begin, a lot of you are still asking if I do private readings. I do. I thought that was, well-known fact, but some of you are still unaware. So, just go into the description box. You'll see my Etsy link shop there. You can totally book a private reading with me. I do them. I'm also going to be offering, the extended reading. It's going to be a fun archetype reading with major arcana cards, personality type reading. It will be offered through Patreon. Link will be in the pinned comments. So just go around, my page. Just always feel free to kind of snoop around. I do also have a second channel. A lot of you still don't know that. So yeah, I just wanted to put it out there before I started. Okay. So I will be drawing the cards on camera as I always do. Please feel free to speed up the recording, but I will, tap forward, but I will also speed up the recording. Okay, so section 1 will speak to the face that you show the world, your outer mask, how others see you, your public persona, the energy you project without trying. And these cards will also reveal the version of yourself that is most visible. Wow. Wow. We got big energy here. Huge energy. Big energy here. The face you show the world is, it's dynamic. It's like there's this, you're a dynamic personality. And I'm going to say something which is interesting here. This may, and I like to get very specific with my readings, you know this, okay? There's two people here and there's two people here. I don't know if there's this, about this unity energy, like you're very for the people, you project that you're for people, or you're like, what is a part of you is your person. You may have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or like a best friend, or I don't know. It's just very people oriented. So I don't know if it's that you're a people person or you're about people. You love people. You know, you're social, you're ambitious, you are charming. But you're very like spicy. This is very spicy. I cannot deny. Now, I'm not saying that you're a pushover, because I do sense here with the holding grudges card. Okay. And we got boss energy here. Okay. You're in the driver's seat. So you can be all of these things, but you, my friend, are in the driver's seat. So you do put out there, you know, that you are in control. And, you know, I don't know how to explain that really, but it's like, it's just like no one's going to put you on a schedule, you know, like you're your own person, you know, you're busy, you're about your life, your career, your school, you know, your money, but you run the show type thing. Like, yeah, I may be very present. You know, I show the world or the people that I'm very engaged. I'm, you know, I have the gift of gab with the Ace of Wands. I am funny. I can be even charming. I can put on quite the show. I can make you laugh. But at the end of the day, I'm really, you know, people do get the idea that, you know, you're your own person. So, and busy, very busy. But you also put on this persona as well too, like hard to catch, or hard to get a hold of. Like, I don't know what this is. And it may not even be about a schedule. It could just be even in your energy. You give the, you know, idea that you can't be pinned down. And I do feel like you do this on purpose as well too, because you know people like you. You know people are gravitated towards you. You know people are going to honestly like fall in love. And I don't mean like, you know, in a lover's way, but just really become enamored. So it's your way of putting a distance. You know, it's your way of putting a distance, a bit of a wedge. Because again, you're very busy. But, you know, the face you show the world is just, it's very likable. You know, engaging, you're engaged, you know, you're open, you know, you're a people person. And listen, you know, if you're like, Trisha, no, I'm not, listen, you can come off like that and not be like that. I mean, I come off like that. People think I'm a people person because I can get on in a conversation and I'm funny and stuff, but at the end of the day, I just want to be left alone. Okay, so as far as like, you know, taking that outside of the meeting or, you know, the event and you being able to call me all day, no, that's not going to happen. Okay, so there's barriers. And that's kind of what I see here is that you're just very busy. You're very busy. You're in the driver's seat. You are on you're a navigator. You're navigating your own journey, but your journey is busy as hell. And it could be due to, you know, anything, kids, husband, wife, you know, big career, you know, so I think your people enjoy you. They really do. I'm not really sensing any kind of like awkwardness here. The only thing I would say is that people may see you at times as a little flaky, okay? Not the most reliable or hard to pin down. But other than that, I feel like others are gravitated towards you, you know? And you're very diplomatic, I'm going to say as well too. Like this face that you show the world, this public persona is like, there's something with these two cards about fairness. You know, you're not snobby. you do what's right. You have like an honesty about you. I don't feel like people think that they're going to get screwed over by you, but I do also feel in the same breath, if I'm experiencing you, I do have this, like I'm sitting up in my chair, I'm perked up. Like I know I gotta be on my game. I can't just say anything I want to you or try something with you. You seem very smart as well too, like with that boss card, like you could see right through me. This is very polarizing, but it's very intense, group 2. Wow, I'm gonna want anybody who chose this to let me know, because it's a dynamic. It's a very dynamic, very intricate, very like, I don't even have the words. That's how extreme it is. Like it's just, you could even come across as a person who just has everything going for you. Like everything. Well built, well put together, good foundation. You know the right thing to say. You are, again, pleasant and you're funny. You are nice to have around. I'm not going to lie. And also very knowledgeable. You seem very knowledgeable. You don't seem like somebody who's like not educated. And I don't care what kind of educated that looks like. I don't care if it's even street smart. You just don't seem like someone who's going to be taken for a fool, or, just anyone can just get one over on you. You seem really intelligent too. Oh my, what are the other sections gonna say here? Wow, okay, let's move forward. The face you hide within. So your inner world, basically, what you protect, suppress, or keep sacred. This section will uncover the emotional or energetic layer people rarely get access to. Okay, so I am sensing some, privacy. There's privacy, private, like there's keeping a distance here. Group 2, you've got this way about you, and it has been working for you. I'm not going to lie. Like whatever you've been doing so far or thus far has been working, but there is something about weakness. You're not into that. And so I do feel like you may hide or protect or suppress like the journey or what eats away at you. Like this is not a group. Like I just can't stop looking at the Emperor. Like you're definitely going to portray a strong foundation, someone who has learned a lot, but really learned it in a way without the emotions, we have this trip down memory lane. So your memories, like what you hold sacred, who you love, your private life. But it's kind of interesting because it's memory here as well. Memory is on this card as well. So what is that about? What is that about? Like, what is it about the memories that you hide? Your memories, your childhood, maybe? Your background, your story. You've got a story. And you know what that's stringing you along card too? I just don't feel like many can get much out of you as far as like, again, like you're a great person to have around. We saw that. But I don't know with the depth. I don't think this group like tends to go too deep too quickly. I think making a friend, like to say like a real friend, like this group really holds that sacred. I don't think you call people friends. I think people think that you're their friend or they're your friend, but really it's not that. For you to call somebody a friend, there would have to be like trust. You'd have to really suss them out for a while. I don't think you allow much people into your kind of realm. People don't really know you that well. They get little bits, but they are often left up to speculation with the Page of Swords. And I'm going to say another thing here. I also don't know here if you also do not are you kind of with your friends? You keep that hidden as well too. You don't really expose people into your group or let people into your group. Are you very sacred with your inner group? Like, this is not the group that's gonna bring people to their house or their families. You can't get in that easy. It takes time with the stringing you along. But it's kind of funny because I think you're probably gonna understand what I mean. Like, a lot of people would think that you guys are cool. You're friends. But really, you don't think that at all. You may let them think that, but you don't really allow people to think that or tell them the truth about what you think about that. It's just, there's a bit of a magician here, in this group. Like, there's definitely a mask you wear. I think you do it for your benefit, and we're not judging, okay? But with the magician, you definitely do it for your benefit. And I think it comes with the scope of things, like, so if you need to charm people for a reason, or it's business or etc., or whatever it is, just to get on, like, so that, you can have less conflict, then I get it. But there is something here of a shield with the magician. There's a mask being worn. But it can definitely be that you work this, the face that you show the world to your benefit. But really, you're not that person. You're just not. That's not you, really. People often get confused about this too, because they're like, we're so good together, like when we're around each other, but then it's like, I can't find that person, or, that person is, keeping me at bay. They're keeping me on like a tight thing. Like, I can't get in, I can't infiltrate. I don't really know even much about this person. Like, on the surface, you're good, but as far as going deeper, And again, I'm going back to this card with the friend. That's not something you commit to very easily. People will say that you're their friend. I'm going to say it again, or, vice versa, but it's not really that at all. Okay. I think you are definitely plotting. You have this plotting way about you, but I think it's to serve your purpose. And that's, again, could sound really bad, but it's not. Emperor, he will hold all the cards. Okay. He knows how to play, the art of war or game. The game, he knows how to play it, so that he ends up on top. And really, this is protection, because I think you're doing this for a reason. You probably know that, most people are just not, as stable as you'd like them to be, or, you just don't want the headache of it all. So you definitely, put on your magician clothing and you work this face that you show the world. But the face that you hide within is that it's really, I don't want to say that it's a performance. I don't think it's a performance. I think it's more, you got the codes, you understand how the game of life is played, and you understand why. And maybe this could be with the Page of Swords, that you've learned this before, as to how you have to do things and make people earn it. So in time, you string them along. But, if they do pass the test, then you allow them in. But I think with this card, you've learned to be like this because it just hasn't worked for you before. And this group could understand friendships being big problems. They've been big problems in the past, and you just don't want any of that. Even that trip down memory lane can even speak to that. I'm not going to be redoing that again. I'm not going to be. So you do this. This is what you do. You hold back on this face until you can fully trust. But there is something with friendship, with the friend here. This is probably, for this group, the category of life that's been the most destructive. Friendships have not been easy, or even finding real true friends have not been easy. So you're just not going to really allow yourself to get manipulated, or, you've learned with the Emperor, you know better, you do better. It's that type of thing. But I'm also going to say that the face that you also hide within is that you actually are, even though people think you're intelligent, you're actually a lot more intelligent than they are aware of, okay? And sometimes it can be this bubbly, boisterous personality, but really, like, you're watching everything. You're watching everything. You see everything. You listen to everything that everybody says, but you kind of portray with the magician this, like, I'm not there, but you're underneath really, really, like, paying attention. Yeah, with the Page of Swords, there's something about words. But you study people, and I don't think people are aware of how much you study them. Okay. The face you are becoming. So your evolving self, the version of you that is emerging, growing, or awakening. This set of cards will also show your future face, your transformation, and your next expression. So you actually got 3 cards with this one from this deck here below. Okay. This is kind of interesting. I've got, like, you becoming a lot more successful in the future. You're literally becoming this. You are leveling up. But I feel like you are softening a bit with respect to how you move. And I think it does have something to do with, like, an intuition or your senses or your psychic abilities. This is interesting to me. Like, your psychic abilities are increasing and you're using them. You're using them to get more resources, okay, for yourself, but you're also using them to become more resourceful. So what does that look like? 6th sense, okay? Because I think this group is not the most trusting, but I think you're allowing your psychic abilities to help you, and you are becoming more attractive. Like, you're going to just even become more attractive. So we've got, like, a socialite of charm, elegance. You're becoming more elegant. But there's a softening with this. So I don't know exactly the way that you are right now. Like, I don't know exactly with each one of you, but it's like that boisterous, that, you know, it's like there's going to be a softening with that. Like, maybe even allowing more people in. But you also, I feel like with the 4 of Wands, are going to start finding your people. And this whole, like, someone's out to get me may start softening. It's kind of interesting with the 5 of Swords, because I do think you're a detective. You're like a little Sherlock Holmes. Like, you are on it. Like, you don't trust people. But there's a softening with this. And I just think that your psychic abilities are involved, and you're going to start using them to find your tribe or find your people. But you'll also start wearing them too. So there's going to be something spiritual about you. You know how what I picked up before in the first section, I didn't really mention that, but you're going to start giving that face that you'll be showing the world. It will be like almost like high priestess energy. Your vibe will speak as opposed to, like, you speaking. You know, we got like acceleration of the aura, the vibration, the frequency, and you won't be having to play that part as much. And I think this group, like, a lot of you would love to hear that, because honestly, it can be very exhausting, you know? And I don't think you want to move forward like this either. You know, I think you want to just have the ability to be able to sense it. You don't want to kind of put on that, you know, face anymore to the world where it's like, because that's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot. It takes a lot of your energy. So you're softening, but you're also leveling up. And I don't know that you're going to care about really winning people over as much. You're going to allow them to laugh behind your back. You're not going to care as much. And I don't know if that's also for some of you why you were kind of having that personality, is because you really wanted to be very strategic with your enemies and have them like close or watching. I don't think you're going to give a crap anymore about that. You're going to be like, if people want to laugh or, you know, this person wants to plot, whatever, I'm just going to kind of shrug it off. Because I did feel like in that first section, you may have been a type of person who liked to strategically have everybody placed a certain way so you could watch them, evaluate them. I think that's going away. I think with the star, there's going to be more of like, it's like hope or renewal, or like we're working with 5D frequencies here. And for some of you, this may make sense because you've been trying to manifest this, you know? Again, I'm going to go back to it. It's exhausting. And I just want to say too, like, when you are a socialite of charm and elegance, the people who actually have this energy, they will admit to you, if they trust you, that it is quite exhausting. It is quite exhausting because, you know, they get so much into it that they become it. And then they realize how people feel when they're not like that. And then they're like, I don't want to carry the room anymore. I just don't want to carry the room. I just don't. And I feel like there's this is happening. This is like almost like I'm going to lay back a bit. I'm not going to be as like, again, boisterous with this face I've been trying to show the world. I'm going to lay back. I'm going to go back into the background. I'm going to like calm down. I'm not going to have this kind of like war mentality. I'm just going to kind of like soften. Okay. And when I say soften, I'm not saying that you're going to be out here, you know, allowing people to do what they want. It's just, it's going to be less energy that you'll be emitting. So it will feel good, but you'll be doing just like what you did before, but with less effort. Wow. I mean, really, I want whoever chose this group, because this is really interesting. Very different from group one, which I love, but I'm not going to lie. I can kind of resonate with this pile myself, to be honest. I've been here. I've been there, done that. So yeah, let me know. All right, group two, you take care. Okay, so if you were gravitated towards group three before we begin, a lot of you are still asking if I do private readings. I do. So please always like look around my channel. Links are everywhere, description box, main channel. You know, I do have an Etsy shop where you can book, so go check it out. Also, I'll be doing an extended reading. This is going to be an archetype with major arcana cards, personality type reading. It will be offered through Patreon. Link will be within the pinned comment. So as always, I'm going to draw my cards on camera. Please feel free to tap forward, but I will also speed up the recording. Okay, so section one will speak to the face you show the world, your outer mask, how others see you, your public persona, the energy you project. Okay, this section will also reveal the version of yourself that is the most visible to others. What the heck is this? This is some interesting energy here. Oh my, group through, what is going on here? Listen, you gotta bear with me, okay? I actually feel like these are your coworkers that are coming through, but it doesn't have to be. This is a bit erratic for me. It's a bit erratic. It's a bit scattered. It's okay. I just heard something. You may not even know who this person is, but it's giving Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Okay. I just feel like, I think actually opposed to the groups that I read before, this group is actually the most authentic with what they show the world. I did get in group 1 and 2 there was an act being put on. I actually feel like with this group, you're really being you. But I feel like because you're so true to who you are, it can kind of make people sometimes feel uncomfortable or not really sure of who you are. I think you've got two sides to you. And listen, I don't think anybody would say that you are not nice. You may actually have one of the biggest hearts anybody has ever witnessed in a person, but you may also have this, like, I don't know if it's an attitude with the road rage, or it's like you're not afraid to give the middle finger, or, and it may not even be that you're saying anything. It could just be like people genuinely maybe sometimes feel like they need to fear you because you give this impression like you wouldn't really think twice about calling them out. And it doesn't matter where you are. You're bold, okay? The face you show the world is a very bold person, but also very kind. But it also, people may think you have a lot of issues, like, and it could be because you tell them, but it could also be that they sense it, I don't know here with the journalist card. Do you tend to give interviews when, nobody's really asking? Like, are you kind of open with your life? Like, do you tend to tell people or let people in as to kind of what's going on in the background? This could even be that, you've got stories. But I just feel like, you may also give the feeling like unreliable or unpredictable, unreliable. Whoa, okay. The energy you project without even trying, it's pretty heightened energy. It's strong. But I feel like if I had to choose one word, it's like unpredictable. And I don't know if it's that, with the journalist, you always have a story. Like something wild is always happening to you, or, sometimes you say things that are outlandish that cause people to feel like, I don't know, they question you. Now that 3 of Pentacles and that 10 of Pentacles is interesting to me. Let me just look at it for a second. I do think people may assume that you're protected in some sense, like maybe you got some good finances, or it's like you have somebody who takes care of you, or you're always seeming to be like a person who can get out of things, or you're protected somehow, or someone's always willing to cover for you, or take the bait for you. But it could also be that this is also your situation. Maybe you have a good family, or, you've got financial, like you're materialistically, financially okay. This could also be, what you've got going on. So maybe you the face that you show the world is like, you've got it going on. I got a good job. I have good people in my life. I have people in my corner. I'm well protected. But it's also with this card, I don't think you're giving the impression that you like to be tied down to anything, or it's like, don't rely on me for anything. Like, I don't know if there's this like people trying to hold on, or they can't grasp onto you because you're always like off missing somewhere, or you're unreliable or unpredictable. This is what I feel like they feel at times. You're interesting though. With the journalist, I mean, absolutely, like you're an amazing person to speak to. It's like, I feel like if I'm around you, I'm fascinated because you always have a story. You may even have some wild stories that most people wouldn't be able to tell, or something that they've experienced. But I'm not gonna lie, there's this something, and I think it's, again, and I don't know if, I'm gonna get real specific for some of you. I don't know if you have an addiction, or, you are a priority person, or, you just have a frivolous way of being, that causes people to kind of like feel like they need to put up a guard with you. You are nice. I do feel like people sense that, someone was hungry, or if they were hungry and you had $5 left in your wallet, you'd give it to them. Not that you could probably buy anything with $5, but do you know what I mean? So it's a bit, I can't help but love you. This energy, like this face you show the world, I can't help but love you. But I've got serious concerns about stuff. And I think it's your reliability, your unpredictableness. There could be this erratic way about you. And listen, this could be as simple as, you go missing. I can't get a hold of you. You said you're going to be here. You bail at last minute, or I sent you a text. I didn't hear from you, or I just literally cannot catch on to your energy. It slips through my hands. So maybe people want to get to know you, but you don't make it the easiest. So don't take my readings and go to the nines with it. Try to figure out how this will make sense for you. There is something here with commitment, and I just feel like, this is you. I'm not going to even go with the face you show the world, because I feel like this is actually, I'm getting the sense that what you portray to the world is actually authentically you. But I don't know, even with the road rage, I don't know if I'm a little bit, I take a step back, or I think about what I'm going to say to you, because I don't want to, provoke anything, or maybe you have this face about you that shows like, okay, I got to be careful with what I say. Maybe she's not going to find that as funny as I think she will. Maybe she may take offense to it. I don't know. Oh my, this is very interesting. I'm going to move forward, because I'm really curious as to what comes out in the face that you hide. Let's see. And this one I got a lot. I didn't know if I should take it, but I was like, I heard Spirit say, just go with it. So there were so many that came out with these cards. I was only supposed to draw 2. I got 4. So let's see what happens here. Interesting. Yeah, with the butcher. I think you're very ruthless, and that could be positive. It just depends on how what your perspective is, if you think that's rude. But like, you are not about it. Like, you see his face? I mean, look at this guy. Do you want to say the wrong thing to him? No, he will slaughter you, okay? Oh my. Oh me, oh my. It's kind of interesting here. I'm kind of relating a little bit here to this, because I think some people actually think I'm pretty rude. They would prefer a little bit of a lighter delivery. That's just not me. I think you're a no holds bar. I don't think you really hide anything. But I think you're like more of a tough love person. See, I like that we have the mother here, because you are a nurturer. You really are. You're just not going to do it in a padded way. You're not going to make it cozy or comfortable. You're going to tell it like it is. But really, I think with this group, you may actually be, I want to say, a catalyst for others, but I feel like when people come into your life, they definitely could learn something. You are a coach. You are a coach. And look at that, nurture, okay? Encourage, support. But are coaches nice? Seriously, some of the best coaches, are they really nice? Or do they come off as mean? I'm sorry, I haven't really seen coaches who are too nice and are too scared to kind of get in there with their players. They tend to just not have the best teams. I don't know, because the players want to be inspired by them, and sometimes you need to hear it a certain way. You need to be called out. So the fact that we have the world card here, I think whatever you project to the world, or whatever, the world outwardly and inwardly, It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And it's interesting because you're not afraid of your vulnerabilities, group 3. You're not afraid of them. You're not afraid of your limitations. You're not afraid. And when I say you're not afraid, what am I speaking of really? Hiding them, okay? You're not afraid to hide them. You are like open about it. Hey, I'm not good at this. I don't have that. I'm whatever. I'm working on it though. You know, you're pretty like vulnerable, but that vulnerability actually makes you trustworthy, okay? In a sense. Now, with the challenger, again, I'm telling you, like with this group, they are not going to have it, okay? They've got the courage most people don't have, and that could be to say what everybody else wants to, but cannot because they're too scared. Or literally, you know, they rise to the challenge. You know, if you're challenging them, they're going to step to you, okay? But it's coming through again in the same way that that first spread came through. So you don't hide anything. What you protect, suppress, or keep sacred, because this section will speak to like what uncovers the emotional or energetic layer people rarely get access to. I don't know. The only thing I can think of that I could pull from this is, you know, maybe, you know, your past, okay? Why you are the way that you are. Maybe there's things that you are dealing with that you are trying to deal with, but like you do keep it caged, okay? So it's like to a minimum. Maybe you are, you know, letting people in a little bit, but you know, it's more cryptic than anything than just kind of like coming out with it. But you definitely are the way that you are for a reason. This is not you putting on a facade or you even using this to gain something. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just what it is. And I actually going to tell you another thing, group 3. With that world card there, this is actually a part of your destiny. Okay. And when I say destiny, what you've come into this world to really do or be, and it is your most truest authentic self. And by doing that, you're actually, you know, achieving this. You're closing the loop on trying to do this many times over. You know, you've been trying to lifetime to lifetime be yourself. And so in this life, it sometimes it has its fallbacks. Okay. It doesn't have the greatest reaction sometimes, but it's okay. It is what it is. As long as I'm being true to myself, that's all that matters. And I'm going to say another thing. With that world card, they are definitely encouraging you. Now, if you're already doing this, great. But they are encouraging you that whatever, you know, has happened in your life, or if it's just that you want to teach this, please get out there. You should be a teacher. You've got challenger and coach. So you definitely could be encouraging or motivating others to do the same. There's something you have that would put you in that role, and it's of service, okay? So just if it makes sense and you've been thinking about something, just take it into consideration. Now, if you're already doing it, amazing. You're inspiring others. You are inspiring others, but I can't say that with this spread that you're hiding anything. The only thing I can sense a little bit is that, you know, there may be something, you know, about your past. It's not like you don't really, I wouldn't say you fully expose it or you're like down to expose it. You more are cryptic about it. Like you'll let people know a little bit, but you don't really give the whole, you know, enchilada about it. Okay. It's kind of something you may, you know, give in doses, but there is something about your past that you keep very near and dear. But other than that, no, whatever it is that you outwardly portray, it's exactly what is going on the inside. Now, this section will speak to who you're becoming. Okay, so basically your evolving self, the version of you that is emerging, growing, or awakening. This section will speak to your future face, your transformation, or your next expression. So I actually see some motivation here in this spread to kind of want to work on this. I think, with the Ace of Cups, you are actually looking into kind of reinventing yourself. You're thinking about it. We've got the starting from zero, and then we've got the skating on thin ice. I think for some of you, it may feel like there needs to be some improvements, and that's actually very normal to feel like that, because if we're not evolution, if we're not about evolution, self-evolution, then we just stop growing. So I don't really think, that's too out of the norm. I think you're willing to learn, you're willing to explore, maybe even look at what doesn't work for you, what works for you. But I actually see you becoming a little bit more refined, okay? With the King of Swords, a little bit more, I don't want to say closed off, but a little bit more selective with kind of your personality or the face you show the world. I think you've been quite open, and it may have not served you. It may have actually put you in a lot of situations that weren't good for you. Maybe even for you, not even for the other person, but for you. Maybe for you, it has, really affected your mental health or your emotional health. And you are maybe at the brink of just really thinking that maybe something else needs to be explored here. You are moving into self-love. Self-love is a big one here with the Ace of Cups. You really do want to start loving yourself more. Put the focus more on your self-beauty, Venus energy, but also just, the inner world as well too. Healing, okay? You want to be a little bit more selective with the Four of Cups. You want to refine yourself. You want to even, I feel like, work on, what it is that you want out of life. You're dreaming of schemes, grand schemes, your visions, your aspirations. You want to put that more forth. This really is making me feel like you want to be more about yourself, like just really fine-tuning yourself, working on goals, being successful, being able to carry yourself on your own, or just really even being more, again, like I said with the King of Swords, more selective, but maybe fine-tuned, because the King of Swords is a tyrant, okay? And maybe you resonate with that. Like you've come across that, you kind of been coming across like that, and maybe it's not working. So maybe you're gonna like kind of fine-tune it a bit, like tone it down, not be so abrasive, or, because he has a mouth that can really sting. Okay. So maybe you're realizing that's not working. Maybe a little bit more honey as opposed to lemon. Okay. My grandmother always taught me, you get more with honey than you do lemon. Okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing here, but you're exploring other ways, to be, and you do want it to make it work for you though. And I do feel like maybe there has been times where you put your foot in your mouth, or this way about you, this way you've been showing yourself to people, has really not been working for you, in some cases. Maybe it's been pushing people away. Maybe you don't get picked for things. Maybe there's something like, why does this keep happening to me? Maybe I need to look within type of thing. But I think through learning, through loving yourself, through healing, I think this is going to become something, that you actually figure out, because it says here starting from zero. So you definitely want to do something different. And I'm not saying that you want to change and say goodbye to all of you, or, this you that you've been portraying, but fine tune it. Okay. Be more selective, be more private, maybe, not have it all so out there. Maybe you want to suss people out. Maybe you want to decide, okay, who's deserving, who's not deserving. Because I do feel like with this group, you do, with that nurture, with that mother card, with the nurturing energy, you tend to love hard. And maybe the people that you've loved didn't really deserve it. So you're starting to see through that a bit more. You're learning. You're in school, You're exploring what doesn't work for you. So you're thinking about it, and take your time. This is a process with the Four of Cups, but you're in contemplation. And I think this is a good thing, because like I said, again, if you're not working on yourself, you're not growing. So there's always room for improvement. And I think that's kind of more the attitude that I'm sensing from this group. It's not to like change yourself completely, but see where you can fine tune things to honestly make it work for you, right? So that's what I'm getting. I wish you all the best, group 3. Let me know how, it resonated with you in the comment section. I would love to know. You take care.